Hello everyone. So today I'm going to review my Mattel Catra figure. Here she is. This is the 2011 Masters of the Universe version. Here's a good close-up of her right over here. Yeah, I have her without her iconic mask, but she looks pretty cool. For the most part, this figure looks pretty nice. I like her head sculpt. You get to see the green makeup, the sharp angles on her face. She looks pretty cool. She also has really long hair. There's a 360-degree look. Pretty good. Of course, this is an older figure, so she's got less articulation. She doesn't have the double jointed knees and the double jointed elbows, but she pretty much has the other points of articulation, which I'll get to in a bit. But let's just appreciate her sculpt over here. She looks good. For the most part, she looks good for me. She's got this rubbery dress. It's rubbery, but it's soft enough that it doesn't really impede the articulation. But it is wrapped all around her, so I'm not sure if she got any waist articulation underneath. But it's nice. It's kind of a soft rubber. Pretty cool. So let's get to the articulation. Her head's on a ball joint, so she could turn it all around, look down and up. Some articulation moving up is impeded by her really long hair. It's a pretty massive piece. She's got her little collar, that's her collar and cape, which is just around her neck. It's a bit loose, but it's fine. The hair sort of keeps it in place. I can't tell if she has any waist articulation because this rubber piece impedes any movement, if there is any. But you could move her arms out this far out. She turns on the biceps, single jointed elbow. Her hand turns around. Doesn't go up and down, but it turns around. Her hand is sort of soft. You can also spin her shoulder all around. So she's got those articulations. She could do the splits about this far. It's sort of impeded by her skirt, but she could do the splits enough to get her into some decent poses. She has no thigh cut. Oh, she doesn't really have an obvious thigh cut, but you kind of get some spinning motion over here. She has single jointed knees. You can also spin her calves. And she goes up and down over here on her ankles. And it can also rock side to side. Limited, but good enough to get her on some poses. So that's her articulation. And she's a pretty neat figure. So now let's check out her accessories. She's got her iconic mask from the show. Fits in her head like that. So if you guys remember the show from the 80s, Catra lowers down that mask and she transforms into some sort of purple cat. Kind of like a puma-sized purple cat with some armor. Yeah, so that's what happens when she lowers down that mask like so. She transforms. So that's her more iconic mask. But she comes with this alternate mask. It's a silver one. More detailed cat features. So same thing, it sort of fits on her head like so. A little bit more snug, and I like the red one better. She sort of reminds me of the Gladiator in the movie Gladiator with the sort of the feline helmet. Yeah, at least that's just me. But it fits in up there. Doesn't fit as well as the red one, but yeah. It looks good, but not as good as the red one, so let's put the red one back on. Put it there on her head. She comes with her sword. Over there. She comes with this little whip and comb combo. And she comes with this shield. Pretty cool shield. Has this matching gem that sort of matches her sword. And both of these items have pretty cool cat sculpting. The shield's got this menacing looking cat snarling, and the sword also has a cat, albeit cuter looking. So these things can be put in her. She could hold these items. Oh, she could hold these items over here. So just slide that sword in. It's got clamps. The shield clamps right in. So it looks pretty cool. She's got this sword that kind of looks like an enlarged dagger. And a pretty cute shield. So back in the show, I don't really remember having a sword and a shield. But I have to admit, it looks pretty cool when she has these on. So let's just... there she goes. And she looks pretty cool. Alright, moving over to some size comparisons. I've got some newer figures over here. I've got Masterverse Hordak, her boss, and her adversary, Masterverse She-Ra. So even though Catra is an older figure, she scales really well with the new offerings. Honestly, when they had the new Catra, I sort of liked it, but I didn't like the fact that that particular Catra had holes or square, sort of had these holes in the side of her head, indents, so that they could peg her mask. So I didn't really like that. So that's why I preferred to get the older Catra, which for me looks pretty cool and goes well with the existing figures. So overall, I like this Catra figure. So as mentioned, for me, I like the face sculpt a lot better than the new one. And I also like the fact that she doesn't have any holes in the side of her head. Well, it's a little bit, some discoloration that I had to paint over because of the mask. But overall, looks pretty good. So let's get a nice close-up of her. There she is. So yeah, I like that head sculpt quite a lot. So I preferred this older figure than the newer one. At least that's just me. And she looks pretty cool. So I remember Catra from my childhood days when I used to watch the old Masters of the Universe series. The She-Ra series in particular. I remember watching her from the She-Ra series back when I was a kid. I think that was around late afternoon when I was a kid. And I remember Catra sort of being Hordak's right-hand woman or second in command. So I remember having this sort of annoying but kind of endearing voice, like a meow, She-Ra, kind of like an annoying little whiny cat voice. And yeah, she's got a host of different powers in the show, but the one I mainly remember is her, of course, her cat transforming powers. But I think in some episodes she had some pretty unique powers. So she's got an affinity for magic. And yeah, so this figure is pretty cool for me. She's like a part of my childhood, which I have right now in figure form. It's a pretty good quality figure. So like I said, I preferred this older figure because of the sculpt and the fact that her head doesn't have any holes like the newer offering. And I like it. I like the way it sort of matches my Hordak and matches my She-Ra. So that's pretty much it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed and see you next time.